The IFAB is introducing major law changes that are effective from the next edition of the laws and in the World Cup, and I will explain all of them. So let's look. The first one is for throw-ins. If the referee decides that they are taking too long or being deliberately delayed, they will initiate a 5-second visual countdown. And this is when the referee decides to initiate this. It is not when the ball is out of play or immediately when they touch the ball. So when the 5 seconds are over and the throw-in has not been made, the throw-in will go to the other team. And the same will apply for goal kicks. If the 5-second visual countdown has been over and the goal kick has not been restarted, it will now be a corner kick for the opponents. There has been no mention of a yellow card for delaying the restart of play, and it is not expected unless it's for persistent offenses or showing lack of respect for the game. However, for the offense in itself, when the 5 seconds are over, there is no yellow card here. And it's important to note that this is only for throw-ins and goal kicks, no other restarts. The next one is time-limited substitutions, and this is a big change, because once the referee signals for a substitution to be made, the substitute must leave the field of play within 10 seconds. If the player doesn't leave the field of play within 10 seconds, they must still leave. However, the new substitute must wait 1 minute plus until the ball is out of play. So it could take much more than 1 minute, and I expect that if it takes too long, a team will deliberately put the ball out of play so their new substitute can enter the field. And the IFAB has not mentioned what to do if the player is injured or there are other circumstances that makes it impossible to leave within 10 seconds. So I expect that they will say it's in the spirit of the law and up to the referee to decide if there was a reason they couldn't leave within 10 seconds. The next one is for treatment and assessment. So that's, for example, when the referee stops play for an injury and calls in medical help. This player will then be required to leave the field of play, and once play has been restarted, a 1-minute running clock will start, and when that minute has passed, the player will be allowed to re-enter the field of play again. However, there are exemptions for when a player must leave the field of play for injury, for example, goalkeepers who receive treatment, or a player who has been fouled by an opponent who received a sanction. I expect that this will still apply in the new laws, and this law only applies for when a player must leave the field of play. And then there are 3 very big changes for VAR. The first one is red cards arising from clearly incorrect second yellow cards. So for example, if a player commits a foul that was not a yellow card offense, but the referee still gives a yellow card and a player is sent off, VAR will be able to intervene. And the second one is for mistaken identity. So when the referee penalizes the wrong team, which results in a red or yellow card to the wrong player, meaning that a foul was against the wrong team and the wrong player received a sanction. And the third one is that VAR will be able to intervene for clearly incorrectly awarded corner kicks when it can happen immediately and without delaying the restart of play. I assume it can never happen immediately, but we will have to wait and see. However, it will not apply for incorrectly awarded goal kicks. So if it should be a corner kick, but they award a goal kick, VAR will not be able to intervene. And then there are other law changes. One is an increase of number of substitutes that can be used for international friendly matches. It was previously 6, it will now be between 8 to 11. And the next one is that non-dangerous items will be permitted if safely and securely covered. And this one is extremely unclear, and the IFAB will have many questions to answer. And if it is in the opinion of the referee, there will be problems. Because right now jewelry is strictly forbidden, including if you tape them over. However, this can lead to confusion and referees allowing it, and the IFAB will need to answer questions to make it more clear. And it is unclear if these so-called neck warmers will be able to be used if they can be safely and securely covered. So for example, the IFAB will need to clarify if this is okay. Next is regarding body cameras on the chest and the head. Competitions may now be able to use these as long as the organizers provide the cameras and control the use of the footage. This is something we have already seen in the bigger leagues. And the next one is for drop balls, which is a clarification that the ball will be dropped to the team that retained possession or would have gained possession had play not been stopped. So for example, if the referee is standing in a way and the ball hits the referee and it was obvious that the other team will gain possession of the ball, the other team will get the drop ball. And the next one is Circular 31 regarding penalties when a player accidentally touched the ball twice and the ball enters the goal. If a goal is scored, it's a retake, and if they miss, it's an indirect free kick. It will now be official in the laws of the game for the next edition. And the last one is a very big change. It's for situations where the referee applies advantage for a dog's offense for which a player would be sent off had play been stopped, but the advantage then leads to a goal. After the goal, the player will receive no sanction at all. With the current law, the red card is downgraded to a yellow card for unsporting behavior, but with the new law, the red card is downgraded 2 steps to no sanction. So, these are all the law changes that are coming in the next edition of the laws of the game, including the World Cup. Thank you for watching.